My name's Nick from Scientific Search. This is Get to Know Your Recruiter, a series where I do a short interview with all the lovely recruiters here at Scientific Search. Who am I here with?
Michelle Lair.
And how long you been with Scientific Search?
This is my 20th year, if you can
Wow,
believe that.
that's awesome. All
I
right.
know I only look 29, so I started early, but yeah, this is my 20th year.
Great. All right, I'm excited to kick things off. What I want to know is how you got into recruiting.
Like everybody else, it was by accident. So I was recently divorced and had just gotten laid off from the company that I was with, had never been unemployed in my life. And I put my resume on Monster, and the owner of Scientific Search called me to talk to me about becoming a recruiter. And I had no intention of taking the job, but I did take the interview just because I thought it would be good experience and good practice to interview. And I was hired. I had no intention of staying. I thought I would just stay until I found a real job. And here I am 20 years later.
Wow, awesome.
Turn my
Uh,
phone
so what was Scientific Search like when you started?
It was small. It was all guys. It was 2 floors. So there were like 5 people on the first floor, and I think maybe 3 or 4 on the second floor. And when I was hired, Joe Peters wasn't sure if I should be on the first floor with all the guys, because it was very much sort of like a boys' club, or on the second floor where there was one woman, and they were just sort of more passive and quiet. And he said after he interviewed me a second time, he realized I should be on the first floor with all the rowdy dudes. So that's where I started.
Wow, and it's changed quite a bit.
Oh, it's changed quite a bit over the years. It's been, 10 recruiters up to 15 and back down to 10. And, I think we're at like 30 plus employees at this point. So yeah, a ton of changes over the past 20 years. All good though.
So what trends have you noticed in your time as a recruiter?
Um, Trends. I mean, it's very cyclical according to what the economy is doing. But I have noticed that, technology has become a more intricate part of what I do on a daily basis. When I first started, it was just using the database and a couple of job boards. And now we have just, a ton of additional tools to help us find the right candidate. So I would say definitely technology has become a bigger part of recruiting.
Got it. Yeah, I agree. What is your biggest challenge that you've had to overcome?
Probably not getting too emotionally tied to the deal. I know that, my husband always jokes that he always knows when I'm in a good mood and why, and when I'm in a bad mood and why.
Mm,
But yeah, I mean, I learned early on that deals are going to come and go, and maybe one that you thought was going to happen blows up, and you just kind of have to move on to the next search. Um, but it's hard, when you work so many hours to make a placement, and then it doesn't go through. It's easy to have it affect you emotionally. So just
right,
learning to move on.
definitely. So that's a good tip. So what is some tips that you would give to someone looking to get into recruiting?
I would say that you have to treat it like it's your own business. If you look at it as a 9 to 5 job, you'll never end up successful. It's not a job like that. If you look at your desk and the searches that you're on as you are sort of the CEO of your desk, and sometimes people can't take calls while they're at work. So sometimes you have to make yourself available at 7 p.m. at night, or if a client reaches out at 10 p.m. because they have to cancel an interview the next day. I mean, it's a 24/7 kind of job. So my tip would be, look at it as it's your business, and the more effort you put into it, the more successful you'll be.
I love that. Great advice. All right. If you weren't recruiting, what would you be doing?
Oh, I'd be working in some sort of sales capacity. I graduated from college in 1988, and only the first 6 months did I not have a job that was commission based. So I would have to be in some sort of job where I was the, I could dictate what my income looks like by the effort that I made for the job. Having a job where I know exactly what my paycheck is going to look like every other week would make my head explode. I couldn't imagine not having the ability to control my own income.
Definitely. All right, last question. What is your favorite memory from scientific search?
That's a tough one because there have been a lot. I would say 5 years ago, I was inducted into a group called the Pinnacle Society, and they're the best 80 recruiters in the world. You have to sort of pledge to get in. You have to be nominated to get in, and not everybody makes it. There are plenty of folks that want to be in Pinnacle and just don't get approved. So once I got inducted into Pinnacle, I felt like it sort of took me to the next level and just gave me a lot of confidence. But I had already been recruiting at that point for 15 years. But it's amazing when you have, the best of the best saying, you're worthy of it. It's a different feeling altogether. So probably that.
Awesome. Sounds like a great community.
It is. It's fantastic. I learn a lot.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. This has been Get to Know Your Recruiter with Michelle Lair.
Thanks so much, Nick. I appreciate it.